Hey everyone, it's Crystal Neat, your intuitive tarot reader, and I am here with your March 14th, Monday, 2020 daily reading. In this reading, I'll be picking up on the overall energy of the day. What do we have to look forward to on this Monday, March 14th? Let's see what the cards have for us. Ooh, somebody knows something. Somebody knows something. All right, so we have the Ten of Swords in reverse, the Hierophant in reverse, and the King of Swords upright. It gives me a feeling that with everything going on, some type of information is going to be revealed. Some type of veil, what do you say? Like something is going to be like brought out or exposed, or like how they say, like a glitch in the matrix, to where like it makes me feel like somebody says the wrong thing and puts information out there that shouldn't be out there, or it's just some type of switch in like hierarchy, or like the powers that be. All right, so I'm just kind of getting that feeling based off this, but let's talk about the cards. Ten of Swords in reverse. The Ten of Swords in reverse is making sure that you're not finding yourself in a self-sabotaging cycle. All right. Most of the time, this is really, really good when it's in reverse, because it's saying, hey, I'm breaking out of a situation of feeling betrayed, let down, hurt, backstabbed, feelings of not having enough or being enough to someone. The Ten of Swords in reverse is a very hard card to see sometimes, because, yes, it's the greatness of healing, but you don't want to fall back into that cycle of hurting yourself again, or allowing that person in or that energy in. You really, really have to be careful where you place your energy. Today, I am feeling that this is a day to think for yourself, especially with everything going on. You might want to unplug a little bit, all right? And I know that's hard for a lot of people, but I would suggest it with the Ten of Swords in reverse. That way you don't find yourself going down this rabbit hole of negative thoughts and hurt and feeling left out, in the most extreme way. Now, on a global standpoint, the Ten of Swords in reverse, yes, like I was saying earlier, those of you who follow me on social media, this can be an increase in the deaths from everything going on and things like that. But I do feel that today people are starting to kind of like shift and think for themselves. And I think once we can do that, we can detach a little bit from what we are conditioned to think and tap more into what we actually feel. I actually had this shirt on that says, and into the forest I go to lose my mind and find my soul. And it's very much that type of vibe. You have to sometimes get out of these strict ways of doing things. The Hierophant is like literally the Pope. It is the church. It is school. It is organization. So I think we will be seeing a lot more school closings with the Hierophant being in reverse. If this was a regular reading, I would say, hey, this isn't the day to sign up for school or do things the oh so conventional way. Because when the Hierophant is in reverse, you have to do things differently. We're moving into progressive times with the King of Swords. This is that Aquarius energy, Gemini, Libra. Getting more of an Aquarius vibe. And when it is power in being the philosopher, it is power in writing the books versus reading the books. Nothing is wrong with educating yourself, but isn't it it's actually more power in being the person who thinks of those beautiful thoughts to be able to write them. And I feel that we are going through a time within our life right now where the history is being rewritten. Like we are about to start bringing out the new Maya Angelos, the new Albert Einsteins, the new people who are becoming futuristic thinkers, because we're tired of this old paradigm. We're tired of these old ways of doing things. Now, it's not to say that tradition is not good and that all tradition is just being thrown out the window, but on a day like this, you're going to really be trying to pull yourself out of hurt and fear and what tries to control you and what people say is the right thing to do. And today you're going to be thinking for yourself. I also feel like this is like a shift in power somehow. Like the one person has been saying one thing for us to believe, and now something else comes out with this King of Swords. And I think that the King of Swords is intelligent, not so much because of how much he reads, but how much he thinks and how much he processes pros and cons and what is logical. The King of Swords also knows that history repeats itself. So if I go off of history and what's been done before, I'm not so easily caught up in the certain agendas and or just fear. I also feel like, honestly, this is like, the church, the Pope, in ancient times, and not in ancient times, but back in the day, the churches are who had the last word. And it was only one Catholic religion. And so things changed because people got tired, of doing things this one way, and it was a time for things to be, for rebellion, almost for things to change that made more sense. So I do think that it is something about like traditional ways of doing things, like that portion today is like losing power. Now let's see what's going on overall. What is our overall advice? Let's see, these cards come out. Judgment in reverse, Temperance in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune upright. All right. So yes, like I said, I do feel like we will see like a flip. Something comes out, I think, from the powers that be with the Judgment card, or like we're able to finally see things from a different point of view. I think from the Temperance card, though, we have to be careful not to lose our cool. The Temperance card in reverse, your buttons are being pushed. Okay. So you really, really have to think, King of Swords, does this make sense? Is what I'm doing right now helping me or is it hurting me? Does this make logical sense? Because if it doesn't, I don't need to entertain it. And I think that with the Wheel of Fortune, blessings are upon us. But if you're too caught up in the Ten of Swords, feeling like things are ending and everything is crazy and I'm being backstabbed and this isn't right, you'll miss this blessing. Ultimately, good wins. When you're being positive and coming from a place of love, you have a much easier time. When you're coming from a place of fear and sabotage, or when you're sneaky and you try to hurt people, or you're malicious, or you're envious and jealous, those people have a harder time in life. And I think the Wheel of Fortune is here to say, hey, stop freaking out. The Wheel of Fortune is here. All of this has already been written in stone. These are those times within our existence that were already preordained in some way. And with that blessing comes some obstacles, but there are plenty of blessings that will be coming our way. But this wheel is constantly turning. And when it gets to the bottom, or when it gets to a place that we don't like, sometimes we forget the happier moments. Okay. So use this time to escape in a book. Read, write a book. Use this time to use your logic. Don't depend too much on the powers that be with the Hierophant card, or your own self-sabotaging thoughts that haven't helped you thus far. All right. I think what is beautiful about today is the Wheel of Fortune. This is like the blessed energy of Jupiter. Yes, I think we are going to see things kind of like revved up, expanded. But I also feel like we can use that expansion in a positive way that keeps us calm. So I hope this helped you all. I love each and every one of you. I know these times can be very fearful for a lot of us, but do understand that there is a higher power that is in control, and you have a direct connection to that higher being. So as long as you can tap into that and knowing that I am healthy, I am well, I am prosperous, all is well. I am sending love out to the world. I am sending love out to the people who are sick and who are going through whatever they are going through. We'll have a much easier time getting through this. All right. Love and light to all my friends and people on the channel. If you like these videos, please hit the like button. And I will see you tomorrow.